team on all sides of the game, and then you let that get away and your team barely put up a fight. That's not just on the players. That's on the coach. I'm with you. That's not real better than the Jets.
I don't think he's on the hot seat. You know why, Freddie?
Why?
Because the guy who had all the propane or the gasoline or whatever you want to call it, he's now in Denver. So I don't know that they would look at it and go, we have a better option available to us than Brandon Staley. If Sean Payton was still doing television and we were having this conversation, then I would say his seat is hot. But because Sean is in Denver, it kind of cooled off the seat, I think, a little bit.
Here's why I think his seat is a little bit hot. They hired a guy named Kellen Moore to be the offense coordinator, and they firmly believe that guy can be a head coach in the National Football League. And if he's more of a salve to that team and Brandon Staley, I could see that the Chargers don't make the playoffs. They move on from him and elevate Kellen Moore. I could definitely see that happening with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I know. And Eric Bieniemy can't get a job. Anyway.
Don't get me started on that. That's a whole nother conversation. That guy should be a head coach. Should have been a head coach by now. I understand it. I get it. But you and I live on planet Earth, Key, when it comes to the NFL situations like that. If they don't like you, well, that's just different.
Yeah, I'm over here, man. We got our own gates and circumstances over here.
Do.
Man.
Yeah, LA's the gated community when it comes to everybody else in the United States. He's Keyshawn Johnson. I'm Freddie Coleman on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. So it seems that it's going to happen. The New York Jets are about to land Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers. How much of that deal could affect this quarterback in the AFC East? Keep it here. That's next.
The college basketball season is heating up, which means it's time.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
WC Tractor, now with 6 convenient locations to serve you. Find us at WCTractor.com.
Support the youth of the Brazos County during the 67th Annual Brazos County Youth Livestock Show, March 18th through 25th at the Expo Center. Kick it off with the Queen's Dance and Coronation featuring the Risky Liver Band. $15 in advance or $25 at the door. The commercial steer premium sale is Tuesday, 12 noon at the Brazos Valley Livestock Commission. The premium auction is Saturday, March 26th at 1 p.m. Thanks to American Momentum Bank, Aggieland Chevrolet, BTU, Lone Star Realty Group, Compass, Spawgrass, Tomline Plumbing and Mechanical, and TMJ Electric, and Texas Farm Bureau, Brazos County.
Lone Star Make Ready Services would like to salute everyone who is serving our great country, to the men and the women who have helped to uphold and strengthen all that is guaranteed to us through the Constitution. Our thoughts and prayers are with you as you defend our freedom. This message is from Lone Star Make Ready Services, serving the Brazos Valley. Painting, drywall, pressure washing, home cleaning, and more. Quality work. Call for estimates at 979-220-6531. That's 979-220-6531. Lone Star Make Ready Services, wishing everyone a safe and happy spring season.
It's back and better than ever. Chili Fest 2023, presented by Miller Lite, is headed to Snook, Texas, March 31st and April 1st for 2 days of live music and the kind of fun you can only have in Aggie Land. This year with Saturday performances by The Weathered Souls, Jacob Stelly, Colton Moore and the Clever Few, Shane Smith and the Saints. I wanna see is and headliner Whiskey Myers. Plus Friday performances by Tyler Halverson, Carson Jeffrey, Giovanni and the Hired Guns, Muscadine Bloodline, and headliner Jamie Johnson. You should have seen it in color. Get your tickets online now at chilifest.org. Plus camping, team information, and more. Chili Fest 2023, presented by Miller Lite. Miller Brewing Company. Great beer, great responsibility. 21 means 21.
To find the complete list of prize contest rules for the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM, visit zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. Since emergency food assistance benefits from the pandemic ended March 1st, the Bryan College Station Salvation Army has received more requests.
In fact, our first distribution of the month, all of our food was gone in under 45 minutes.
Captain Tim Israel says they are seeking donations and volunteers. Non-perishable food and dry goods can be dropped off at the Salvation Army Center in Bryan on Cavett. More information about financial contributions and volunteering is online at salvationarmybcs.org. The College Station City Council may decide tonight to legalize rental housing in some residential neighborhoods to allow more than 4 unrelated residents.
It authorizes those that have already been leasing to 5 or 6 or 7. They built 8 bedrooms, 8 baths. If they're in that zone, they're now legal.
Mayor John Nichols says in addition to taking up what is known as middle housing zoning, the council will also hear a presentation about off-campus housing from Texas A&M's Vice President of Student Affairs. Nichols says A&M and the city recently launched an educational campaign directed at students about city ordinances related to rental housing. The Bryan ISD School Board joins the growing list of school districts that are appealing property valuations from the Texas Comptroller's Office, which can decrease the amount of state funding. The reaction from board member Leo Gonzalez to the comptroller determining the valuation from the Brazos Central Appraisal District was not high enough.
This never ceases to amaze me how the state tries to not pay us. It just really is a shock.
BISD Assistant Superintendent Kevin Besaw says Bryan ISD's valuation review will be different than College Station because Bryan is more commercial property and CSISD's valuation is more residential. The former chief executive at Texas-based Bluebell Ice Cream no longer faces federal felony charges related to a deadly listeria outbreak 8 years ago. The Wall Street Journal reports Paul Cruzy will plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge over food safety violations. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
It was this kind of hilarious moment last year where they started to try and cancel like dead people. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like John Wayne was trending. Oh my God, did you see what John Wayne said in 1971? I can no longer tolerate dead for 45 years. John Wayne.
From his Netflix specials and F is for Family, Bill Burr Live, coming to Reed Arena Friday, April 14th. Tickets on sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Bill Burr Live.
Dive in for a fantastic spring break at Moody Gardens. Explore fact and fiction at the new Sharks in Death exhibit. Come face to face with real sharks, penguins, seals, and more at the Aquarium Pyramid. Check out the strangest and most spectacular in Secrets of the Sea 3D and Shark 4D. Enjoy an afternoon cruise, island golf at one of the top public golf courses in Texas, or relax poolside at the beautiful Moody Gardens Hotel. Save with a value pass in Moody Gardens Hotel and golf packages. Online always, the best deals are at moodygardens.org.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Aggie baseball was in action last night against Rice. The guys got the win 6-1, thanks in part to lefty Justin Lampkin, who got the start. He threw 5 innings and racked up 7 strikeouts, allowing just 3 hits. Austin Boast was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and now has a 6-game hitting streak, including 5 multi-hit games. He was asked about the streak after the game.
I mean, nothing's really changed. It's just getting unlucky at the beginning of the year and just sticking to the routine, just not changing anything, sticking to the process, and good things happen, still making good swings, so been good.
The guys welcome Northern Kentucky to town next for their final non-conference weekend. They kick things off tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The SEC men's basketball tournament kicked off last night. Ole Miss took down South Carolina and LSU beat Georgia. Today, Mississippi State takes on Florida, Ole Miss versus Tennessee. Arkansas has Auburn, and LSU takes on Vanderbilt. The Aggies will begin their run tomorrow night against the winner of the Arkansas and Auburn game. Tip will be at 6 o'clock on 1620 94.5 WTAW. A&M men's tennis is in action today as they head to Athens to take on the number 7 Georgia Bulldogs. The last time out, the Aggies swept USF and UT Arlington in a doubleheader. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On the Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Every Friday, noon till 1, we go inside the pit on the Louis Bellina Show with barbecue pit master, the Smokin' Aces competition team, Bryce Jones. Inside the Pit, brought to you by Dixie Tire Company. Family owned, serving the BCS for over 35 years. You need tires for your truck, car, tractor, trailer, lawnmower, even your wheelbarrow. It's Dixie Tire Company. Join me, Louis Bellina, and Bryce Jones inside the pit Fridays, noon till 1.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him! Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? I do not stay at the Intercontinental.
All right, let's go. Got LSU beating Georgia last night. How about that? Ole Miss takes down South Carolina in the SEC tournament. And tonight we're going to find out who A&M is going to play. It's going to be Arkansas. It's going to be Auburn. They're going to be playing, and a couple storylines there. Arkansas, losers of 3 straight. Yeah, the Twins have been struggling just a tad bit. Auburn, as you know, A&M took both of those games in that series. They did split with with Arkansas. Welcome into TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. We're not going to get an FCC violation today because Olin Buchanan is not with us. He's on his way to Nashville with Logan Lee. Those reports should start later on today, and looking forward to seeing what happens there in Nashville. There's some school of thought out there that, A&M's position, if you will, is pretty much set in the NCAA tournament. How anybody knows that, I don't know. Committee, are they telling people? Yeah, they're going to be here. All that being said, the consensus is that they're probably going to be a 6th seed unless something great happens this weekend. And something great could absolutely happen. And while I want the easiest path, right? And I mean that in the SEC tournament. I mean that in the NCAA tournament. While I want the easiest path, I'm not scared of anybody, and you shouldn't be either if you're an A&M fan, and you are because you're listening to this show. The way the Aggies play, they can match anybody, right? And early on, we told you on this show that, they can beat anybody, they can lose to anybody. Well, that is still true. The lose to anybody thing is further from my mind than they can beat anybody is much more in the front part of that. And they've proven it this year, right? They've taken down Alabama. They've taken down Tennessee. They've outscored almost everybody in the first half, keeping them to like season lows in the first half. They've done that against many, many teams. So I ask you, who do you want to play, right? If there's a team out there, who do you want to see A&M play? And I'm going to kind of tell you mine, and we can kind of go through it. You can text us on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. That is A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank, Good Texas Banking. So here's my thinking with that. I want Kentucky. You got to beat Auburn or you got to beat Arkansas. But I want Kentucky because while you've already split with Arkansas and you may play them, you'll get to hopefully win that series if you do play them. Or if you play Auburn, hopefully you take 3 from Auburn. And again, those are not foregone conclusions. Those teams have a lot of talent. But Kentucky's the one team that I think, look, you're not going to play Mississippi State unless you meet them in the finals. That's just the way the bracket sets up. I'm not as concerned about the Mississippi State blemish. I want that Kentucky game because they are a blue blood. They are a brand. They are a team that I think you were better than for 75% of that game. But they ended up beating you. They got hot. Oscar Tshiebwe had a much better second half than he did in the first half, and they were able to hit their threes. And I just think that on a neutral site, I think A&M will take it from them. And then that'll be one of those other little notches on the bedpost, right? Like, all right, we've got them too. You just keep doing that. And to me, Kentucky's the team that I really want to see in the SEC tournament. As for the NCAA tournament, I just want the easiest path. But again, like I said at the top of this, it does not matter who they play. I like their chances. Do I want to take on a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed on the? No, I'd rather not. I'd rather take on a bunch of teams that A&M can beat. That all being said, it doesn't matter to me. So what do you guys think? Who do you want to see? As for baseball, they've won 4 straight. 6-1 over Rice last night, the second time to beat the Owls in the past few days. Looking, they're going to play them again, by the way, real soon. But SEC play is just 8 days away. That's right. Number 1, LSU will be here next weekend. And as you know, it gets real. You got LSU, you got Tennessee, the gauntlet that is the SEC. But right off the top, you've got 2 of the best teams in the entire country. So we'll certainly be talking about them in the baseball game. Justin Lampkin yesterday, just phenomenal. He was money, 5 scoreless innings, striking out 7, just gives up 3 hits, and has 2 walks. Let's not forget that he had a couple appearances this past weekend as well. Looked very good as a nice option. We'll talk to Schloss later on in the show and get his thoughts on that. All right, so with no OB, we've got a different feel to the show. You can be a part of it, no doubt about it. But we got a special guest at 8:20 coming up. Patrick Young, SEC Network, former Florida basketball player. He'll be joining the show. We'll talk to him. Stephen McGee, as always, at 8:35. We've got Schloss and Bronny at 9:05. Aaron Torres at 9:35. Pounding the Rock with Tap Bentz at 10:05, and then the Fan Show. So that's kind of the loaded show. If you want to be a part of it, jump on it right now, 979-693-1150. Let's go behind the glass or beyond the glass or through the glass to talk to Nick Savage. Nick, I'm guessing, we didn't discuss this, I'm guessing you've got a baseball thought for me.
Actually, I don't. I was going to respond to, kind of how I want things to go for the Ags in the SEC tournament, just because that's kind of what you open with. But, I mean, out of the 2, Arkansas, Auburn, I think I want Arkansas because, A, they did beat the Ags once earlier in the season. So if you get a chance to beat them a second time, that'll just improve that and look better. And I'm like you. I want Kentucky in that second round if they can make it that far, get a chance to even the score there. And they were in that ball game the entire time, got away from them at the end there. And, if they can take that one, 2 wins in the SEC tournament, you'd think would be able or would be good enough to bump up a seed, from if I guess they're projected a 6 right now, maybe up to a 5, but who knows? We don't know these days, but
we don't know.
Yeah.
Look, this is what
ahead.
we've learned, Nick, and jump in, not to take it away from you. We've learned the SEC tournament or conference tournaments really don't matter.
Yeah.
They matter, but they don't.
Unless you win it all, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Like literally A&M was, the thinking was, all right, they got to make it to the championship game to get to the NCAA tournament. And they did that. And they ran out of steam, and they lost to a very good Tennessee team. But they did that. And not only did they do that, they did it in dramatic fashion. They did it in blowout fashion. And they just took it to teams. And that wasn't good enough. But the difference between last year and this year is if you're outside looking in, going into the SEC, into a conference tournament, you have to do so much to like change the opinion, because I'm assuming these guys have got their little, solo brackets filled out. Like, I don't know, man. They're going to have to win it for me to put them in there. Who am I going to take out, right? But once you're in, then you're like, wow, did you see what they just did to Arkansas? And then they blew out Kentucky? Like, we can't have them a 6 seed. We got to move them up to a 5 or a 4. So the difference is once you're invited to the party, you get to go to the champagne room. But if you're not invited to the party, you got no chance to go to the champagne room.
Yeah. But I do have one more question. I'm sure this joke has been made before. Can it still be called the go hour, or is it the no hour now with just Nuño? That joke has definitely been made before.
It's not even a joke. It's a question that came up the very first day of the show, and I let the
oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I actually let the listeners decide what we call it. The reason it was called the Go Hour was because of Gabe and Olin. I did not know that taking the job. I just thought it was the first hour of the show, and they're going, right? So I thought it would be nice to pay homage to the former host and keep that name going. Because the no hour, like, no, I don't want to listen to that. Like, it just doesn't, The do hour, yeah, they're doing work. Of course they are. I just felt like go fit the brand, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's fair. So I'm assuming since it's just you solo today, we're going to be bombarded with your, 80s, 90s rap, which is fine. We lambasted you all day yesterday with country, so it's your turn, right?
I think I've evolved as a human being, Nick. You've watched it in real time.
Your music taste is dynamic now, right?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm probably the most dynamic music taste in the entire company. Billy would tell you he is because he can listen to country and rap. But I do all that, plus I got the hip-hop.
Yeah.
I've got more.
You got a deeper catalog of hip-hop
deeper catalog
than anybody, for sure.
Way deeper catalog. There's like honestly, you all, I sound so mean there, should aspire to be more like me. Like, man, that Nuño guy, he'll listen to it all, right? You guys are like, I'm just going to listen to Clint Black. That's it. No. Clint Black, Tupac. Oh, by the way, no, I don't want to make this about music, but Nick, since you brought it up, I'm really worried about the future of one of my favorite artists. Who's one of my favorite artists?
Bad Bunny?
Bob Bunny. Bad Bunny is legit dating one of the Kardashians.
I thought somebody on the show the other day said they broke up or whatever.
Well, there's pictures of them kissing yesterday, apparently on the internet. And
oh boy.
What did they do to Lamar Odom?
Not good.
Okay. What do they? Well, I'm not going to say what they did to some other people. What do they do to Kanye?
Not good. Really not good there.
Okay. There's another one too. There's others. Right. What are they going to do to my dude, Bad Bunny?
I don't even want to think about it.
I don't either. And I'm not going to use the joke that I was thinking in my head. We'll go to the News and Social Center. Hello, Miss Fiedler.
Hello. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. What's going on in the world of news and socialing?
Nothing really new today. I just wanted to say my brother and dad listen to the show every morning while they're on their way to school, and I wanted to give a quick little shout out to my brother, who in his track meet yesterday not only broke a school record, but also ran the 800 in 2:16.
I don't even know what that would feel like to your lungs. What's your brother's name?
Travis.
Is he listening right now?
He is.
Travis, here's a thought, and I've said this is not hard. I bet you could run a mile faster than Olin couldn't walk 100 yards.
I would.
No, that's not fair. No. Olin actually used to be a runner. I'm sure he could probably do it, but that's pretty cool stuff. 2:16?
2:16. It would take me 2 minutes to run around the track once.
Well, I've been asking for people to do stuff on the show like that, so we can go do this. We can film it and put it on YouTube Shorts.
I don't think anybody wants to see me running.
If you fail, they all do.
If I failed, probably, yes.
Nobody wants to see you make it. They only want to see you fail.
It would probably happen. I'm not going to lie.
All right, let's do this. Let's actually get into some basketball conversation when we come back. Patrick Young of the SEC Network is going to be joining us. Looking forward to chatting with him about the SEC tournament, talking about A&M's future, and beyond. Right now, though, we're talking about the Association of Former Students. They've been around for a long time, 140 years. Your financial gifts have empowered them to be here, to be there, to be everywhere, and they certainly have done that through scholarships, student assistance programs, Aggie Bands, Silver Taps, Rain Day, class reunions, yada, yada, yada. I like to say yada, yada, yada a lot, but, it didn't start on Seinfeld, but it's part of it. But that is what the association does. They've just been doing it for a long time. They love to give back, and you're the reason that they do what they do, which is why they encourage you, and I encourage you as well, to check out IamTheWhy.com. that basically is a website for you, about you and about your Aggie friends all around the world. The Aggie Network is so strong, and they encourage people to upload their stories and tell them about their time at A&M, your perspective, your time, your lens, your unique stories that you had out there. And while you're up there, check out all the other awesome stories, and they are awesome for sure. It is IamTheWhy.com. Again, IamTheWhy.com, the Association of Former Students.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Texas A&M Rodeo is sponsoring their intercollegiate rodeo this Friday and Saturday at the Brazos County Expo Complex. Find Texas Aggie Rodeo on Facebook for more information. You're invited to a VA Health Administration Town Hall this Saturday morning at 10 at the American Legion Post 159 in Bryan. The Bush School invites you to a discussion on Tuesday, March 28th at the Annenberg Presidential Conference Center titled Terrorism in the Age of Great Power Competition. Visit bush.tamu.edu for more information. BCS Habitat's Faith in Action Committee is hosting their annual Run for the House 2K Walk 5K race on Saturday, April 1st at Lake Walk Pavilion. For more details and to register, go online to habitatbcs.org. You can hear A&M women's basketball on The Zone. The men play on WTAW 1620 94.5, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Howdy, this is Brad Beard with Intercon. You would not buy a car, boat, or major appliance if the warranty only covered material, leaving you to pay labor, freight, and other charges. So don't make the same mistake when making a window or glass purchase. With many players in the window industry, limited warranties are truly limited. At Intercon, the warranties we provide cover 100% of the cost to get the product performing as it should. The labor and freight charges on other vendors' warranties can add up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Ask questions about other warranties offered. What costs are not covered? Are they transferable? What happens if a vendor goes out of business? Intercon does not represent any fly-by-night manufacturers who change their name and product line continually. We have long-standing relationships with our vendors and offer the best warranties in the business. Years down the road, Intercon will still be in the Brazos Valley, making sure the product we sold you lives up to expectations. Call Intercon and get the best product at the best price with the best service.
When it comes to windows for your most valuable asset, trust your local friends and neighbors from Intercon. Call Brad Beard with Intercon at 823-3639. That's 823-3639 for Intercon today.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Would you like to win a pair of tickets to Chili Fest? The Zone has locations all across town. You stop by, scan the QR code, you're entered. It's just that easy. You could stop by Twin Peaks, eat, drinks, scenic views. You could stop by Uptown Cheapskate, College Station, sustainable, upscale fashion, trendy, designer, and vintage fashion without the mall prices. For a complete list of locations, go to zone1150.com.
There are certain days that, I don't know, people just remember. March 9th, 1997, that's when Biggie died. I was what? Junior, sophomore in college. A few months after Pac had died. Yeah, it's a Texas A&M sports show, but you got to get some little tidbits here on the program. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. We'll get to your text messages on the AMB text line, but I want to go to the hotline right now. We're talking to one of the rising stars at the SEC Network. You saw him play at the University of Florida. Patrick Young joining us here on the program. Patrick, man, thanks for joining us here on TexAgs.
Yeah, thank you for having me. What's going on?
Hey, I appreciate Peter Burns connecting us, man. I've been following your career, man. It's been fun to watch you there at SEC Network. How did you guys, how'd you end up getting there?
How'd I end up getting to the SEC Network?
Yes, sir.
Man, I think, and for me, and I don't want to give, and it's ironic we're doing with Texas A&M, give a Buzz Williams philosophical answer here. But for me, I believe relationships are the most important thing in life. And I think because of my time at University of Florida, because I had some healthy, great relationships with the staff, with the people around me, when I needed help in the regards of figuring out what I was going to do with my career after I retired, people were more than willing to give me a hand and open that door and introduce me to Pete Waters at the SEC Network. Because I got my degree in telecommunications, and I knew this was something I wanted to do, but I thought I was going to play basketball till I was 35, and we make plans and God laughs, right? But it was ironic, man. After I had that call with Pete in 2020 in February, we know COVID happened and it pushed back my audition and all that. So it was like a 1.5-year process for me to finally get an in-person audition with the SEC Network. And when it finally happened, I crushed it. And the rest is history. They offered me a 2-year deal and really hope to do it for a long time because I love everybody that I work with, and being around the SEC, it's incredible.
I was going to say, man, I can see it when you're on TV. Like there's an excitement level to the way you talk about it. You can tell you definitely have passion for it. And I can only imagine. I didn't cover you in college, but I can only imagine you're one of the go-to guys for interviews. You know, you always have those 2 or 3 guys. Like, hey, let me talk to that guy. I can guarantee you were that guy.
Yeah, and it's funny. I can't say that I loved it, but I told myself I need to embrace it so I could work on my speaking in front of the camera, articulating better, stop using like or So Denver Parler, he's one of the best SIDs in the country. So I said, you know what, I love that, and he's so nice. It's hard to say no to a guy that's so nice as Denver. So whenever he asked me to do anything, it was always a yes. And I said, you know what, let me make the most out of this. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Hey, Patrick, you started off with Buzz Williams, and he is motivational, he is analytical, he is caring, his players love playing for him. What do you make of the job? And obviously, he got SEC Coach of the Year, Co-Coach of the Year, and but what do you make of the job he's been able to do? Literally, like right after conference play, they turned on a light.
Yeah, man, it's and I think it kind of goes to show how they've been playing all year. A little bit slow, and then coming back with ferocity. Obviously that loss they had to Wofford, or I believe it was a huge wake up call for them of saying, hey, this is not the team that we want to be, who we desire to be. But even last year, having a slow start when they end up losing 8 games in a row, bounce back, and it's really cool how the 4th year for Buzz, whatever program he's at, has been his best season. And this has been a fantastic season. I think what he's been able to unlock with Julius Marble, with Wade Taylor, with the 4th, with all the guys that he has on the squad, and grabbing Dexter Dennis. I mean, he's a stud. But what I make of it with Coach Buzz, and I listened to him on John Gordon's podcast from some years back, and it's just coming in fruition, all the unseen sacrifice and things that he's put in to being a great coach and molding men. So it's just coming to the top now of the cream of seeing how the work and effort that he's put in is turning this team into a successful one. And they're my team, my choice to win the SEC tournament. My dark horse is Vanderbilt, but I really hope that Coach Williams is able to get it done.
Man, you just got like 1,000 more followers because of that comment right there. So TexAgs people are going to go crazy. That's good stuff. So I'm assuming one of the reasons you believe that A&M can win the conference tournament is because of guard play, because when you look at what Wade Taylor's been able to do in boots all season long, really for a couple years now, they are really what keeps this team going at that rate. What did you think about the way Wade Taylor finished this season?
Oh, man, he's been the best, arguably the best in the country. Arguably the best in the country with his takeover ability. And sometimes when you got a player that's that good, they take some shots sometimes. You're like, what the heck are you doing? What was that? But he's allowed to do that because he has that ability to knock those shots down and really create. Is he a junior?
He's a sophomore.
Sophomore, man. Just imagine him if whatever decision he ends up making coming back to next season, the strides that he'll continue to make as a player. But he's in my opinion has been these last few weeks, there hasn't been anyone better than he has in the point guard position. No one even close.
I love that analysis right there. So, Patrick, they get the winner of Auburn, Arkansas later on today. Auburn, a team that they beat twice. Arkansas, a team that they split with. But Arkansas has lost, 3 straight games. What has been their problem recently? Or have you seen anything that jumps out at some of their issues?
Man, it's great. Both of these teams have been on a slide. When I look at Auburn, I just think they never fixed any of their problems they had last year. It has helped that Alan Flanagan has come back and he's been more effective. And Janai Broome, he's not Walker Kessler, he's not Jabari Smith, but he's probably been one of the best front court players in this league, arguably. Arkansas, man, it's so strange. I think what's made it difficult for them is having guys in and out of the lineup. Having Nick Smith, he's in, he's not in. Devo Davis, and you got Ricky Council, and you got Anthony Black. These are 4 guys that need the ball in their hands, and some of these guys sometimes with their maturity level, and I've been there. If you're not getting the ball and shots aren't going in, sometimes it leaks over to the defensive side, and you're not doing your job on that end, which Arkansas has been under Coach Musselman, has been one of the best defensive teams, most destructive, chaotic, lengthy, just taking over the game. And when they struggle and lose these games, they're not defending at a high level. And I think it shouldn't, but I think it starts on the offensive side for them. Nick Smith Jr., sensational as he is, it's hard to bring a guy with that much talent and tell him, hey, we need you to not try and take 15 shots a game. Or do you let him because he is explosive? Because, Anthony Black, he's a 6'7" point guard. He needs the ball in his hands to figure out how to be a playmaker. So I think that's where their struggles are, just figuring out. And, if those guys end up figuring it out and getting it all together, somebody's going to have to end up taking a back seat. But for this team to go to the Elite Eight again, if they have that capability, that's what it's going to take. It takes sacrifice to become a great team. It does.
Talking to Patrick Young here on TexAgs Radio. Patrick, I got to ask you about Florida. They got a tough one with Mississippi State. Mississippi State's been playing great basketball as of late. The loss of Castleton obviously hurt them. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh, man, it's going to be difficult because Mississippi State has been a top defensive team in the country. And I know I'm saying a lot of things in regards to the country, but that's just what the SEC has been this year. Seriously, Mississippi State's been like a top 15, top 10 defensive team all year, and they're coming together better offensively. I don't think Jason Jatobo is going to be able to match up with Tolu Smith down low. Tolu Smith's been awesome. For Tolu, it doesn't even matter where he gets the ball. Just give him the ball somewhere around the block, he's going to score. It's just a matter of him. He's not a great free throw shooter, something I can relate to. I can relate to a little bit there. Yeah. Riley Kugel has picked it up big time for Florida. But again, he's a freshman, and he makes freshman mistakes. Someone else has got to step up outside of the freshmen. Hopefully Kyle Lofton, hopefully Will Richard. Big opportunity for Florida. And State needs this game more than Florida does. I think because Florida is not going to make the tournament. State is in right now, and if they want to solidify and not flip and let anyone take what I think they deserve, they should do what they need to do to come away with this win.
Patrick, last thing for you. I had forgotten because when I watch you on TV, I mean, you were just a light of energy, but I know you were involved in a very scary accident over a year ago. How's your health? How you feeling? And I love the motivational videos that you put up there of you striving to be back.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. First off, God is good, man. In all seriousness, sometimes I look back and reflect, and I'm like, man, why did this happen, et cetera. But it's like the biggest takeaway for me is I'm alive. I'm here. I still have a lot of life left to live and a lot of things I can do, so I'm excited about that. In these last 8 months since my accident, I've been used in a way to inspire people. And actually, I'm going into a public speaking engagement here to inspire and motivate more people than I have in the first 30 years of my life. So it's just great, in the midst of an unideal situation, adversity, it's just molded me as a man, forced me to really look in think about the things that are really important in life, which is, as I said earlier, relationships, man. Honestly, having great relationships with people, letting people know you love them and care about them, and who shows up for you when you're in your worst and the darkest times, and who loves you when you can't perform. Like, who are the people that love you regardless of what you do for them? So that's been huge for me, and it just motivates me every day that I go into therapy just to keep pushing. But things are heading in the right direction, and I'm going to, listen to Steve Harvey the other day. He said, failure is only 100% guaranteed when you quit. And I don't know how long my process is going to take, but I know one darn thing for sure. I'm not ever going to quit. So I hope that motivates you. I hope it motivates somebody else that's listening today. You're only going to fail if you quit, so don't quit.
Patrick, man, we're praying for you. Love you, your energy, and what you bring to the television and to SEC Network. I hope to do this again soon, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Absolutely. You have a great one.
You too. Take care. Patrick Young here on the hotline, TexAgs Radio. By the way, he is such a conscientious young man. I can say young man because I'm like, could be his dad. He texted me this morning at 5:30 saying, looking forward to our interview at 8:20. Never do I get that at that. Like, no, that does not happen. So that was cool. Appreciate that. Right now we're talking Fargo's Pit Barbecue, 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., closed on Sundays and Mondays. You know the phone number, 979-778-3662. Call them up because the specials run out like that. Usually I have OB here to kind of go back and forth on what specials that they have. So today is Thursday. Pork chops, mac and cheese. I've told you before I would take a bath with mac and cheese. I would, as long as I can eat some of it. Actually, no, I wouldn't take a, never mind. But the mac and cheese there is awesome. Green beans, red potatoes. That's the special. They got other stuff too, but that's the special, and they sell out of it fast. So call them up, and they're going to take great care of you out there. Maurice will handle that. You got Alan and Melinda. It's just a great, great crew out there. Make sure you visit them. They've been around for over 22 years, helping out all kinds of events from football weekends, funerals, dinners, family gatherings, good food done the right way. It is 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan, Fargo's. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because it is true.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Our blood, our sweat, their tears.
It's time. Oh, here we go! Let's go!
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
The winter blues are almost behind us, and we can't wait to get out of the house and be more active. That sounds great, but your achy joints don't agree. Well, it's time to do something about it. Hey, everyone, David Nuño here. Stop with the steroids. Stop with the possible surgery chatter. Now there's a better way to get lasting relief. It's QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. This exciting approach uses healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then placed directly into your achy joint. It can restore and repair that damaged tissue and get you moving again without pain. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain. The patient satisfaction reports are incredible. And there's no downtime. Listen, the old ways of dealing with joint pain are no longer the only ways. If they're telling you need surgery, do yourself a favor and call QC Kinetics. Learn more about this widely popular, all-natural alternative way to get lasting pain relief. No surgery, no drugs. Even ask about using your HSA and FSA fund. The call is free. The consultation is free. You have nothing to lose. Call QC Kinetics now. The timing is perfect so you can enjoy the best time of year coming up. Call 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Finding and buying your dream home creates a special kind of excitement, and Lone Star Realty Group is ready to help you experience that excitement. At Lone Star, every client is a priority, and every client is treated like family. They combine cutting-edge technology from Compass with a hometown touch to provide a concierge experience like no other in the Brazos Valley. Whether you're buying or selling, you'll get the help you need from Lone Star Realty Group. Experience, integrity, results. Click LoneStarBCS.com.
It's that time again for America's simplest tournament contest, Sports Talk Madness. Just log on to ChipHoward.com. Sign up, pick your top 10 tourney teams. That's it. No filling out brackets, no picking games, just your top 10 teams. Sports Talk Madness brought to you by Chad Jones Law and Zwerneman Flooring. Go to ChipHoward.com beginning Monday morning, March 13th through Thursday morning, March 16th. Good luck from your Sports Talk pal at the Zone.
Rolling down a long highway out through New Mexico, drifting down to Santa Fe to ride a bull in a rodeo. He's hooked on a feeling, addicted to a natural high. Don't know why it's appealing.
All right, TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. So Cody sent in, do you know who Chris Ledoux is? I was like, do I know who Chris Ledoux is? Wikipedia will tell me. And we had to come back with a little bit of his music. Steve McGee's here with us. What's up, man?
Morning.
How are you?
I didn't know Savage used to do fitness coaching.
Yeah, dude's like, he was, I think he's still a beast. He tells you he's not.
I know. You got to tell.
Yeah, he always plays the sandbagger card.
Yeah, of course.
Savage is the guy you don't want to get on the golf course because he's going to be like, I've not played in a long time. I'm not any good. And then he shoots like 4 over and takes all your money.
Yeah. No, he could do probably like 20 pull-ups right now nonstop.
What was his coaching like love language? I feel like he would be the very gentle, like nice guy, but if you follow him and you try to keep up to speed, you're going to get destroyed in the workout.
Yeah, he's the opposite of what we were talking about with Goggins earlier. he might be more Jocko-ish. No, Jocko's more intense. But, Nick is like, he'll put his hand on your back. Like, you're doing okay, buddy. And then he just passes you.
just laps you. Just really in a loving way.
And then Luch and I would be the ones that tell you that you're losing to us. As we brother. And we keep going.
I love it.
How you been?
Dude, we're doing great, man. Baby girl's getting fat. Love it. She's sleeping through the night, which is awesome, especially good for mama. So no complaints on our end.
All right. Well, I was going to do this at the end of this segment. I'm going to do it now because you brought up the baby here. Start, bench, or cut. I'm going to give you some options. All right. We've been doing domesticated recently. All right. So start, bench, or cut. Going grocery shopping or shopping in general with the wife, right? You got to go like Lululemon, all the places they want to go. Ooh. Cooking for the family. Or wake up duty with the baby.
Ooh, so I'm going to start cooking duty.
Okay.
I normally cook breakfast in the morning while baby girl's eating her or drinking her milkies. 2 is I'm going to bench the getting up in the night duties.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because I can confidently say that our daughter is not going to take to a bottle. We've tried that.
So you're going to be up a while.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of off that anyway, naturally. So 3rd, I'm definitely going shopping. That is the worst experience for any male. It's like
the worst.
How many things can I buy or try on or like think about buying?
But not buy.
But then not buy.
Yes.
Or even worse yet, how many things can I try on? Can I debate about? Can I like look in the mirror? You know, like they tilt their head. Yeah. They're like, I don't know. Do you like it? And you're like, God, yeah, it looks great, baby. Like, just get it. And then you get all the way home. They try it on again.
I don't like the way it looks.
I'm going to take it back. Yeah. I got to make another trip.
No.
It never ends, man.
My wife will say, hey, I'm going to the grocery store I'll be back in about 30 minutes. And I go, no, you won't. You'll be back in 2 hours. That's how it is. It's always 2 hours.
Oh, 100%. What is yours?
All right. So if I did this, I love my sleep. So back in the day, I would have said wake up duty would have been the cut. I'm saying I'm starting that because I had twins. So there was no taking off, and I took a lot of pride in being like, all right, Babies need a bottle. Babies need some love.
Yeah.
I'm it. So I'm starting that just because that's how I came up. I am absolutely benching cooking. I don't mind it. I like it. And I do it. I do a lot of my own meal prep, but I'm not good at it. So I'd rather not rob the family of the experience.
Fair enough.
Then I am cutting shopping. I mean, if I can do it on Amazon, I'm doing it.
100%. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's now in the world of like, hey, I can have all my shopping sent to my doorstep and then return it if I don't like it.
Yes.
I mean, what's not to love about that?
Yeah, I mean, and if I need to go, there's certain things like shoes, I got to try them on. But I'm in and out. It's like 4 minutes. I'm proud. I've done Christmas shopping for my wife and kids within an hour before. Like, I'm in and out. I just choose my things, boom, boom, boom. There's no thought process. That looks like a good thing. Let's go.
Yep. Could the male and female shopping experience, or let me say this, the desired shopping experience, be any more polar opposite?
No, they're completely different. And for them, it's an experience.
Yeah.
For me, it's the tension. It's terrible. Like, really? Like, we got to stop and get this too? We were just here.
Are you the husband that finds the most comfortable chair in the store and it's just plopped down waiting?
I don't even go that far. A lot of times I'll say, I'll stay in the car. And I will rack out.
You would rather sit in a car full of kids screaming.
Yes.
Than go in the store.
Yes.
I'll probably be there too.
Especially going in the store with the kids. That can be difficult.
Don't you love sports talk radio?
It's the best.
I mean, this is what you get.
Yeah. You get this, and then, hey, by the way, A&M spring practice starts in like 11 days. Let's talk about that.
Sounds great.
All right, so where's your biggest question mark on offense, and where's your biggest question mark on defense?
Yeah, so I think offensively is the offensive line. Well, other than the fact of, is this really going to be Bobby Petrino's offense?
Mm-hmm.
And how quickly can this team absorb new thought processes? I don't know. It sounds like Petrino's going to adopt to Jimbo's terminology more likely than not. And so I guess from a learning curve perspective, it's not really going to be incumbent on the guys to learn a new language, so to speak. But what they ask them to do could be different once they say set hut, right? So, trips formation is still trips formation, but now all of a sudden you're going to be asked to read things a little bit differently, or there's going to be some new concepts that are introduced. And so ultimately you want your guys to be able to play fast. And then, like the tempo part of the offense that I think that's been lacking, having our guys play a little bit more downhill as opposed to fighting the play clock, which has been a consistent theme for the last 3 years. So to me, I think it's the adoption of the Petrino era. And then two, from a player's perspective, I think it's going to be the offensive line and that next step, right? So I think last year everybody would say that, well, it couldn't get any worse, which I think there's some truth to that, but you also have to show signs of improvement. We're not going to win football games if the offensive line they did get better last year, right? I think as the season progressed, but there were some games in there where you say, man, it's going to be very difficult for us to win at a high level, even if our quarterback plays well with that offensive line. Yep. And so to me, those are the biggest question marks. Defensively, it's the ability to stop the run. I think you have to start the conversation there. That's my biggest question mark. In previous years under Elko, this is a really, really good run defense. I mean, we eliminate some great running backs, and that was almost something you could count on is the box. That front seven was going to win, and the question ultimately was always going to hinge on the back end. Could we hold up at corner, especially in a man defense? And so now I feel like it's almost flipped. It's can we hold up inside? Because we've had some games last year where teams just too easily could control the game and run the ball on us. And so there's always question marks for every team, certainly, but there's some intriguing headlines because there's so much ability over there right now that you have to think that if they get it all together, they can win a lot of football games.
Yeah. I want to follow up with the offensive line thing because I 1,000% agree with you. They got better as the year went on. How much of that is the quarterback, right? So, there are quarterbacks that can make an offensive line look better, and conversely, there are offensive lines that make a quarterback look better.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, that's That is so true. I mean, it's funny when you hear people talk about, well, gosh dang, the offensive line looks terrible out there. Well, the offensive line, that free rusher was not on the offensive line. That's that guy's not going to be protected. That's on the quarterback for not getting the ball out. Now, also they say, well, the quarterback holds the ball too long, or there's some times when the quarterback takes the blame, to your point, where it's really on the offensive line, or like you could tell that the offensive tackle was supposed to slide out to the blitzing nickel will off the edge and didn't, and now it's a free rusher. And so, yeah, it's hard for the fans to say, hey, like, who's the one struggling here? But I really felt like, to your point, that a lot of that progression, I think, came from the new quarterback.
Yep.
And Connor did a great job for a true freshman, of being decisive, of a guy that really didn't have a lot of reps and anticipating throws. Like, he's not scared to anticipate, which is hard to teach a quarterback, right? I mean, it just takes a lot of reps for most guys, because it's not something they do in high school. He's a great anticipator, and whenever he decides to pull the string, like throw the football, he lets it rip. Yep. And I love that aggressive mindset. And so his ability to get the ball out of his hands, that quick release, definitely helps this offensive line. He's a quick decision maker. It's going to help them. Now they've got to get better as well. They can't have missed assignments up front.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back with That's Bullcrap. Stephen McGee in studios. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. United Way of the Brazos Valley is collecting children's books this month to support the early literacy program. There are multiple drop-off locations throughout the community. Learn more at uwbv.org. The annual Easter celebration at the Bush Library is Saturday, April 1st from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Free activities and games for children 9 and under. Save the date for the 8th annual Starlight Affair, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Texas. Saturday, April 1st at Traditions Club at 6 p.m. Find them online to purchase sponsorships or tickets. Our Savior's Lutheran Church presents the 3rd annual drive-through Living Passion of Christ. Friday, April 7th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This is a free, family-friendly event. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
When you're looking for a good time in Texas, Specs has everything you need to make it great. Specs has lower prices on Texas's largest selection of world-class wines, hard-to-find spirits, ice-cold craft beers, and seasonal seltzers. And with Specs same-day delivery, the good times keep coming. Just order online or through the app, and we'll be there in a snap. For good times done right, it's Specs. The fun starts here.
Dive in for a fantastic spring break at Moody Gardens. Explore fact and fiction at the new Sharks in Death exhibit. Come face to face with real sharks, penguins, seals, and more at the Aquarium Pyramid. Check out the strangest and most spectacular in Secrets of the Sea 3D and Shark 4D. Enjoy an afternoon cruise, island golf at one of the top public golf courses in Texas, or relax poolside at the beautiful Moody Gardens Hotel. Save with a value pass in Moody Gardens Hotel and golf packages. Online always, the best deals are at moodygardens.org.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
The Ravens hit Lamar Jackson with the non-exclusive franchise tag. I hate to use the word collusion, but I mean, it just feels like there's something other than doing the right thing by the teams. It just feels that way because everybody points to MVP. I don't care about the MVP. That was 4 years ago. I don't care. I care about the talent that's on the field. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the National Football League. And for him to have to go through this to try to get his money in all of these quarterback-needy teams within hours of him being tagged or leaking out that they have no interest, it makes you think that there's some sort of collusion going on.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture captured.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Nick Savage, Jocko, man, he was just inspiring us at that break.
Exactly. I've learned now that I do not want to take my Orange Theory class with Nick Savage at the helm.
No, he's a lot tougher in that environment.
Yeah, he came in here and corrected us. He's not the nice guy that he is at TexAgs. He's a demeaning, hands on the hips. Where's my full rep?
He expects you to complete your range of motion. Like, there's no half rep with him. There's no, you got to go all the way. Let's do a little That's Bullcrap, presented by Tom Line Plumbing. For service you can trust, consider Tom Line Plumbing, a great friend of Steve McGee, longtime trusted plumber in and around the Brazos Valley. The website, tomlineplumbing.com. I got a couple for you. One for sure, and then I'm going to throw one from yesterday, but I know you've got one as well.
Yeah, and there is no other bullcrap for me this morning. I always get these texts of, why are you zooming in for your TexAgs radio appearance? And it's always from Zane, and he's always stirring the pot with Dalton. So I show up today, and who do you think is not here?
Wait, Richard's not here?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And where's Dalton? Sleeping in.
Well, Thursdays he does sleep in. He does. Thursdays are his day.
I mean, talk about a life here.
Right?
I mean, so these guys, that's bullcrap. I hope they're listening, but I know they're not, because what are they doing? They're sleeping. Exactly. And so, you know what? I hope y'all eventually hear this on replay. Dalton, Zane, that's bullcrap.
That is bullcrap. So mine is not as funny. Mine is interesting. You remember Sean Kemp, the basketball player?
Very much so.
He got
the father of the world.
Yeah, he had like 20 kids, right?
Yeah.
From Dallas. He got arrested yesterday for being involved in a drive-by shooting.
Oh, gosh.
And there's video of him holding the gun up in the air, like, after the shooting. And he got arrested yesterday. Now, maybe he was provoked, but I just think if you've been to the NBA Finals, you've been an all-star, you have dunked on almost everybody in NBA history, I don't think you need to do drive-by shootings. That's just my opinion.
You think?
Yeah, I just think you stay away from drive-by shootings if you're a former NBA player. Probably made millions.
Well, I mean,
probably spent millions, but
after taxes and alimony, he's probably selling drugs.
Well, I don't know what he's doing. This happened up in Washington, but he made a little bit of a mistake yesterday, so he got arrested for that. The other one, and I just want to bring it up in front of you after talking about A&M. So there was a grading out there of all the quarterback rooms in the SEC. And I'm only bringing it up because you're here. And all the teams got these grades. And I'm going to read you some grades of quarterback rooms. Alabama gets a B for next year. Arkansas an A-. You've got Florida with a D, Auburn with a C-, Georgia with an A, Kentucky with an A, LSU with an A, Ole Miss with an A+, Tennessee with an A. What do you think A&M got? Saturday Down South grading system.
Probably because you're bringing it up, a C-.
They got a C.
Oh, gosh.
They got a C. Missouri, can you name their starting quarterback? Not many people can.
No.
C+.
I can't name a starting quarterback at a lot of those schools. What I can say is that Alabama with a B+ with Milroe, that guy, unless what he did against us was just a false narrative.
Yeah.
This guy was not good.
No,
and
he just ran.
Yeah, exactly. He was not a good player. Georgia, I understand that one. That kid got some reps in the title game. LSU, I think they're going to be really good at quarterback. Yep. I understand that. Like, they're deep too.
Kentucky lost their guy, Will Levis, to the NFL. They get Devin Leary, who's transferring over.
Yeah, exactly. But I think when you look at it from ability perspective, I understand that Connor really hasn't done a whole lot of anything yet, but he has started a lot of good football games, and he showed what he's capable of, and he has a good supporting cast. Big caveat, obviously, offensive line. But you have to think he's at the top of that list from an ability perspective. And so I don't know if they're trying to discount the Jimbo narrative or if they're trying to say that Petrino's washed up or there's some other aspect to it. I don't know, a list are. But if you're just grading on a quarterback's ability, that's bullcrap.
Well, and in the quarterback room, Max Johnson is a starting college football quarterback from LSU who beat A&M, who had 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, played well last year until he got hurt. That's the quarterback room. A guy who went through 8 touchdowns and no interceptions, and another guy who threw no interceptions.
Exactly. And so if you're talking about like the best backup quarterback in college football, tell me one that's better.
Yeah, and the whole Georgia thing, well, I get it. What's his name? Carson Beck. Is that his name?
Yeah, the tall guy.
Carson Beck. He didn't play as much as Connor, so why does he get the benefit? I understand they're Georgia.
Yeah.
But he didn't play.
Yeah.
And Connor did.
They're promoting the system, right? And that's what Alabama gets credit for, is because the next guy up is going to naturally be really good. And I get that theory, and it's proven to be true. Sure. But LSU is the one which I would say has probably the best quarterback room today, is because you have a guy coming back, and then the new high, what's the kid's name? He played really well in.
You talking about LSU?
Yeah.
Grant Nussmeier?
Nussmeier, there you go.
Yeah.
That kid played really well, and I know he's one that we targeted coming out of high school. And so you see both levels there. You got some good answers for LSU, and then, Brian Kelly had a great year, and so they're hot right now. I get that. But the other program, I mean, the Tennessee kid showed.
Joe Milton, he's all right.
Yeah, he showed that he had a lot of ability. I mean, he had the arm and everything else. But, again, unknowns. Right, you haven't seen a lot of meaningful snaps. With Connor, you've seen meaningful snaps. The guy started football games. He's shown what he's capable of. You're bringing in Petrino. I think it's bullcrap. A lot of upside for him, too.
All right, we got to drop it right there. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, good to see you.
Appreciate you coming in. Good seeing you, too. All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, Schloss and Bronny. It's the pairing you have to have on Thursdays. Next on TexAgs.
Would you like to win $1,000? I mean, who wouldn't? Be the grand champion, first place, winner-take-all champion of Zone Madness, brought to you by Aggieland Green. It's first place, winner-take-all, $1,000. And you can register now at zone1150.com. After selection Sunday next week, pick the entire field. Zone Madness brought to you by Aggieland Green, C&J's Barbecue, and Gold Star Barber Studio.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year, leading to injuries and death. They know that if someone doesn't lawfully comply or resists, force may have to be used to obtain compliance. Nobody likes it, especially police. Help police by not escalating. Don't attack or try to disarm an officer. Don't argue, resist, or flee. After the encounter has been resolved is the time to address any complaints. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Want to listen online? Not sure of the prize rules? Would you like to learn more about your favorite host? Go now to zone1150.com. Zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan, Aggieland's home for sports.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. Since emergency food assistance benefits from the pandemic ended March 1st, the Bryan College Station Salvation Army has received more requests.
In fact, our first distribution of the month, all of our food was gone in under 45 minutes.
Captain Tim Israel says they are seeking donations and volunteers. Non-perishable food and dry goods can be dropped off at the Salvation Army Center in Bryan on Cavett. More information about financial contributions and volunteering is online at salvationarmybcs.org. The College Station City Council may decide tonight to legalize rental housing in some residential neighborhoods to allow more than 4 unrelated residents.
It authorizes those that have already been leasing to 5 or 6 or 7. They built 8 bedrooms, 8 baths. If they're in that zone, they're now legal.
Mayor John Nichols says in addition to taking up what is known as middle housing zoning, the council will also hear a presentation about off-campus housing from Texas A&M's Vice President of Student Affairs. Nichols says A&M and the city recently launched an educational campaign directed at students about city ordinances related to rental housing. The Bryan ISD School Board joins the growing list of school districts that are appealing property valuations from the Texas Comptroller's Office, which can decrease the amount of state funding. The reaction from board member Leo Gonzalez to the comptroller determining the valuation from the Brazos Central Appraisal District was not high enough.
This never ceases to amaze me how the state tries to not pay us. It just really is a shock.
BISD Assistant Superintendent Kevin Besaw says Bryan ISD's valuation review will be different than College Station because Bryan is more commercial property and CSISD's valuation is more residential. The former chief executive at Texas-based Bluebell Ice Cream no longer faces federal felony charges related to a deadly listeria outbreak 8 years ago. The Wall Street Journal reports Paul Cruzy will plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge over food safety violations. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Does the insulated glass in your windows refuse to come clean no matter how hard you work? If so, the glass unit has probably lost its seal. You might notice moisture between the panes, a hazy look, shadows, or even the growth of some white mold. If so, it's time to call your friends at Intercon. Not only are these conditions unattractive, but you no longer have an insulated barrier in your windows. There are a number of options available to you to remedy lost seals. Most options allow you to retain your existing window frame and just replace the bad glass with a new sealed unit. Clear insulated glass offers an insulating pocket, but no protection against solar heat gain. Low E insulated glass adds a coating between the sheets of glass. The coating blocks about 80% of the solar heat gain, as well as the damaging UV rays of the sun. Another option is to trade out the entire window frame with a premium vinyl window. Since Intercon does both glass and windows, we can offer you a full complement of options. Call Intercon to get a free quote from a locally owned and managed business.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help you keep your home energy efficient year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Aggie baseball was in action last night against Rice. The guys got the win 6-1, thanks in part to lefty Justin Lampkin, who got the start. He threw 5 innings and racked up 7 strikeouts, allowing just 3 hits. Austin Boast was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and now has a 6-game hitting streak, including 5 multi-hit games. He was asked about the streak after the game.
I mean, nothing's really changed. It's just getting unlucky at the beginning of the year and just sticking to the routine, just not changing anything, sticking to the process, and good things happen, still making good swings, so been good.
The guys welcome Northern Kentucky to town next for their final non-conference weekend. They kick things off tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The SEC men's basketball tournament kicked off last night. Ole Miss took down South Carolina and LSU beat Georgia. Today, Mississippi State takes on Florida, Ole Miss versus Tennessee. Arkansas has Auburn, and LSU takes on Vanderbilt. The Aggies will begin their run tomorrow night against the winner of the Arkansas and Auburn game. Tip will be at 6 o'clock on 1620 94.5 WTAW. A&M men's tennis is in action today as they head to Athens to take on the number 7 Georgia Bulldogs. The last time out, the Aggies swept USF and UT Arlington in a doubleheader. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett.
Every Friday, noon till 1, we go inside the pit on the Lou Bellina Show with barbecue pit master, the Smokin' Aces competition team, Bryce Jones. Inside the Pit, brought to you by Dixie Tire Company. Family owned, serving the BCS for over 35 years. You need tires for your truck, car, tractor, trailer, lawnmower, even your wheelbarrow. It's Dixie Tire Company. Join me, Louis Bellina, and Bryce Jones inside the pit Fridays, noon till 1.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate all the text messages on the A&B text line. I promise to get to those here momentarily. We've had a fun show so far. Steve McGee, Patrick Young. And now we go to the hotline. We're joined by Jim Schlossnagle here on TexAgs Radio, fresh off the victory over Rice, 4 straight. Schloss, good morning. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Got a little allergies rolling hard pretty bad this morning, so if I have to clear my throat a few times, I apologize.
It is getting me quite bad as well. Let's talk a little bit about this recent run. Are you seeing any different body language, a different little vibe around the team now that things are starting to click again?
Yeah, I think our guys had good body language, and the energy was good. During that ugly stretch there against Lamar in Portland, we got outplayed most of those days, and certainly we're still not the offensive team that I think we're capable of being. The season will tell us that. The injuries have affected that some, but yeah, I think we've gotten. The main thing that's improved is our starting pitching has been pretty consistent. Outside of Detmer had a rough outing against Louisville, but Wanting has been. Each time out's been better. Cortez has been better each time out. Wyatt Tucker was certainly better the third time than the first 2. And then Justin Lampkin last night really put in a tough situation. I felt, he was fine, but he had pitched an inning on Saturday and an inning on Sunday, and then we asked him to start and just go a few innings on last night. He felt great and did a great job, so we'll shut him down between now and next week. And I think he's got a chance to be really a special one for us, and I'm looking forward to seeing him pitch next week on full rest. But, but in terms of your question, body language, all that kind of stuff, guys have been positive. We've just kind of sputtered until, the last few games, but that doesn't guarantee anything. We got 3 more games this weekend and have to play good baseball.
Speaking of those injuries, Coach, can you give us an update on Trevor Werner's overall health and then the, rehab or expected return in a couple of weeks of Brett Minnick? Where is he along that path?
Minnick is doing well. He's not swinging yet. He's getting close to being able to, do some things like swing like a wiffle ball bat or just start moving a little bit. He stands in every day on bullpens. The beauty of the high-end pitching machines now, like you kind of heard about Kyle Schwarber back in 2016 when the Cubs won the World Series and he was out for a couple months and then came back. He's standing in. Try to keep his eyes and his body trained to see, pitches, see velocity, see breaking balls, see left-handed stuff, so that he can be as close to ready to go whenever that is. I would anticipate, hopefully by the end of this month. I wouldn't think it would be Ole Miss. Maybe could be a dream. Could be that, but probably a little bit after that. Werner, I haven't seen him yet today. Got a PRP injection yesterday. I don't think he got that hamstring bad. There wasn't a whole lot on the ultrasound. But obviously, you can't come back from those things until you're fully back, because otherwise they'll get you through the rest of the year. So we're hoping that he's ready to go next weekend. It's pretty doubtful that he would play this weekend.
When you look at the veterans, and I agree that Austin Boast, I thought he really kind of put the team on his back in Houston in terms of a leadership and body language standpoint and giving you guys that edge. But I watched the at-bats of like Ryan Targach, and they're breaking balling him to death. Is that something that you can go ahead and put in the scouting report, even though it's 3 or 4 weeks into the season, that, hey, they're going to break and ball Targach to death, and he's going to have to start moving some of those to get the heaters that he wants?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. He punched out a lot last year, and I'm sitting here looking at video of Northern Kentucky talking to you guys, and everybody has the same analytical tools. You can look up and see what the batting average on each pitch is. You can see what the swing rates, swing and miss, all that kind of stuff. And so you can't hide anything these days. But he's definitely staying on those pitches more. We don't want to do it at the expense of not being on the fastball, because I don't know what this weekend holds. I haven't watched enough video yet with Northern Kentucky, but we all know what lies ahead. And, what's his name for Schemes for LSU is going 98 to 101. So you can't be looking for off-speed pitches and try to hit that. So our hitting philosophy is to swing at strikes, take balls, and always, always, always be on time for the fastball. Nobody hits the good breaking balls, but if you're on time for the fastball, then you'll be able to hit the bad off-speed pitches. And so if we all could take, I think we would all sign up for the Ryan Targach of last year, hitting 280, 290 with a bunch of ribbies and home runs, and we just have to live with the strikeouts. So I think some of our guys are a little bit caught in between. That has been a focus for us, and will continue to be a focus for us leading up to conference play, about being on the fastball, and we cannot come off of that because most college pitchers, don't locate their off-speed pitches enough to respect it. You have to be on the fastball, and so. But you're right. Boast is doing well. Targach is doing well. Obviously, Hunter Haas is doing well. Tracy at times. So yeah, there are some guys in there doing, that are doing a nice job.
Do you feel like Tab Tracy's got the arrow pointing up in terms of wanting that everyday job in center field, or are you going to play him out there, or is it going to depend on matchups?
I'd like to play him out there. He's going to, if you look through all of our left-handed hitters, I mean, there are some guys that, that need to be able to improve against left-handed pitching. And that's, of course, we have a lot of left-handed pitchers on our team, so they've been seeing good left-handed pitchers since fall practice began. The one other thing we try to kind of emphasize is, number one, be on the fastball, and number two, be matchup proof, right? So don't be the guy that has to come out of the game because they bring in a certain kind of pitcher. So we'll continue to look at it. I don't want to. Sometimes the only way to figure out if they can really handle the lefties in games is to leave them in there. In the certain situations, like a Jace Lavalette, try to continue to give him opportunities, because the only way he's going to get better is through experience, and there are some growing pains involved with that. But we also have some right-handed guys on the bench. They're just options like Stanley Tucker and Jordan Thompson, he put together some really good at-bats last night, had the first big hit, smoked the ball to right field for an out. So I think the depth of this team, either whether you want to say through our offensive struggles or whether it be through injury, has shown itself. We've been able to keep our head above water by playing multiple guys.
Where are you at on guys like Jace and Caden Kinn in terms of how they're handling the day in, day out, now that Caden's been kind of thrust into this everyday role?
They're doing so great. I mean, they're just doing great. I know Caden has a little bit better batting average, but we've asked him to play left field. He's played shortstop. He's played second base in a shift. Now he's playing third. He works his rear end off to get ground balls and get the fly balls that he needs. He comes out early. And Jace is, he's ultimate team guy. He's just a guy that needs to continue to build confidence. Just because he's big and strong, we still got to remember he's 18 years old and he has the same, insecurities and fears that every other young player has. And so we're just working our way through that. But those guys are awesome. They're the foundation of what we're trying to do moving forward, along with Coffer and Wells. And I'm really excited about what has evolved from a catching staff standpoint. All three of those guys are doing a nice job. Again, the level of pitching is going to tick up pretty good here shortly. So we'll see how they handle that. But I think in terms of Kent and Lavalette, yeah, they're great. They're just fun to be around every day.
Can I get some thoughts on Brandon Garcia? He looked really nasty yesterday. I enjoyed seeing that.
Huge sign for the Aggies right there. Big, big, big. That he pitched in a game that was in question. And, young pitchers with that kind of arm, they're not, most of them with power stuff like that, they're not extreme strike throwers. They're kind of, and a lot of times college hitters, I've always had a theory that college hitters at the Division I level with an aluminum bat are just good enough to foul a lot of those kind of pitches off, but they're not necessarily good enough to put him in play. So there's usually a lot of deep counts. And last night, he had a lot of opportunities where he could have folded and walked the guy. There were a lot of 3-2 counts. And they were fouling pitches off, and he kept throwing strikes and executing pitches. And if we can get that going, then that gives us, along with Aschenbeck and Sadeo and Johnston, that gives us 4 really good lefties out of the bullpen, and allows us to keep Lampkin in the rotation. Because I really want to keep Lampkin in the rotation so that we can continue to develop him as a starter. To have 4 quality starters, and if we're fortunate enough to make the SEC tournament, then you have somebody rested and ready to go in the first game. And also you develop them so that if somebody goes down, you can move them into or somebody doesn't perform well, you can move them into the weekend.
You mentioned the catching position, and I'm just curious how you divvy up those innings with the midweeks and the weekends now. Is it going to be matchup based, or I wrote this week, I still think it's important that Max Coffer get out there as much as he can for the future of not only himself for this program, but I'm just really interested in kind of how you guys are looking at that spot going forward.
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, we cannot. Max had, he had a rough one against Louisville, and that doesn't mean he's buried. We have some guys throwing simulated games today, and Max is going to get a ton of at-bats and going to catch some today. Over the course of the next 4 games, I'd like to get him a start if we can. But, Hank Bard has swung the bat well left-handed. He's catching much, much, much better than he was in the fall. He's a competitive, guy from a baseball family. His dad's in professional baseball. Gregson is the most elite defender of the 3, and he's starting to put together some good at bats. So I think we'll just look at the matchups, whether it's left, or whether it's right, whether it's a guy with a really good fastball, or some of those things we can make decisions on analytically. But Max is not forgotten in any way, and he's right there with Lavalette and Kent and Wells and those young pitchers as to what we want to build this thing around. And so we'll pick and choose our times to get him in there.
Schloss, last thing for you. We got about 8 days before SEC play begins. Anything in particular you want to see before that first LSU series?
Number one, I want to see Nathan Detmer go pitch like a Friday night starter. Like he needs to go pitch this Friday night the way Hawks pitched against us from Louisville. I mean, that's the bottom line, because he's he knows that he was that guy last year, and that would be the number one thing. Obviously, I'd like to get Trevor Warner back healthy, but offensively, we have to be on the fastball. And last night they brought in their little, Rice sold out a lot last night to try and win that ball game, which they should have. They started a really good lefty transfer from Tennessee that gave us fits, and then they brought their closer in down 4-0 in the 6th inning. And he's 93, 95, and that's the kind of pitching we're going to see every day in the SEC. And some guys were on that fastball, and others weren't, and we have to be on that to be a good offensive team. So, those would be the things I'm most looking forward to improving.
Schloss, we appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, fellas. Good luck to the Aggies. I'm fired up for hoops, man. Can't wait to. I guess I can't watch it unless I can, because I guess we'll be playing. But super fired up for Coach Williams, and congratulations to him for all his awards. So, gig 'em. Have a good day.
Gig 'em. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you. Jim Schlossnagle there on the hotline. Appreciate that. Trending in the right direction. I hope we continue to see it.
Am I staying for another segment?
That's up to you.
I saw the rundown that you didn't have anybody after me until 9:30.
No, I don't. I put in there for Nick and I to go back and forth if you decide to leave.
Well, nobody really cares what Nick says.
Well, I've learned a lot about Nick.
That is completely fair, Bronny. Completely fair. Please stay.
No, I'll stay.
All right, Bronny's going to stick around. We'll get into that next on TexAgs Radio. But before, don't say goodbye just yet, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Caldwell Country Chevrolet. There might be a couple people on staff here who have bought vehicles from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. His hand's up. I'm not going to say his name, but he's just sitting next to me. That's what I'm going to say. I've bought one there. Actually, let me rephrase that. I bought one for my wife. She got the new car. And Billy, Dante Hall, R.C. Slocum, like Aggie football players and just life. Like they like buying things from Caldwell Country Chevrolet because it's Zach Hester. And the amazing deals that you get out there, the great trade-ins, and just the incredible customer service experience before, during, and after the process. They have complimentary pickup for all their customers, for their service customers, and they just take great care of you. Let's not forget, it's not a far drive, 15 minutes behind a Caldwell, a short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with Zach and the fellows there. You're going to get a great deal and a great experience, and you can start that search online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com because they change those deals every month, and they put them right there, and you can see it. Then go for yourself and check it out. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Texas A&M Rodeo is sponsoring their intercollegiate rodeo this Friday and Saturday at the Brazos County Expo Complex. Find Texas Aggie Rodeo on Facebook for more information. You're invited to a VA Health Administration Town Hall this Saturday morning at 10 at the American Legion Post 159 in Bryan. The Bush School invites you to a discussion on Tuesday, March 28th at the Annenberg Presidential Conference Center titled Terrorism in the Age of Great Power Competition. Visit bush.tamu.edu for more information. BCS Habitat's Faith in Action Committee is hosting their annual Run for the House 2K Walk 5K race on Saturday, April 1st at Lake Walk Pavilion. For more details and to register, go online to habitatbcs.org. You can hear A&M women's basketball on the Zone. The men play on WTAW 1620 94.5, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
You know us through the Aggie Ring and our work helping current and former students. You also know that we work to uphold our traditions and help bring Aggies together around the world. We are the Association of Former Students, and it's our mission to provide resources, support programs, and cultivate the experiences that you know and love. But have you ever stopped and wondered why? Why does the association support Texas A&M and Texas Aggies? Why are we always here, there, and everywhere for the Aggie Network? Why do we tirelessly work to ensure that the Aggie experience is both unforgettable and life-changing? Well, you may be surprised to learn that the answer to why is as unique as your own Aggie story. That's why we created IamTheWhy.com, a place for shared Aggie stories and unique perspectives. It's where you can hear the why, see the why, and discover why Aggies like you are the why. Visit IamTheWhy.com today.
It was this kind of hilarious moment last year where they started to try and cancel like dead people. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, like John Wayne was trending. Oh my God, did you see what John Wayne said in 1971? I can no longer tolerate dead for 45 years. John Wayne.
From his Netflix specials and F is for Family, Bill Burr Live. Coming to Reed Arena Friday, April 14th. Tickets on sale Friday 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Bill Burr Live.
DJ K-Dub checking in. Previously on the Feinbaum Show.
AJ is up next.
You know the only thing worse than being an Alabama fan?
What's that?
Nothing. And you know what? What does Auburn basketball and AJ and Pell City have in common right now? We was on the bubble, but we ain't no more.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
Saludos, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We've gotten some
Bienvenidos.
Very nice text messages from.
Do you have a different Spanish broadcasting voice than you do your English one?
So I'm going to be very honest with you. I get stage fright with broadcasting Spanish. The very first, one of the only times I've done Spanish television, I was working for the Dallas Mavericks, and I was doing some like part-time, not part-time, I was working full-time for them, but like anytime they needed like a pinch hitter because Chris Arnold couldn't be at a game, or there was something like, hey, Nuño studied broadcasting, he can, this was before I was on TV. They had me do the Spanish, host of the Spanish show. And like, I didn't know this because in English it would have been difficult. When people write for you, it is very difficult to deliver lines that other people write for you, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, sure. I would think that it would be hard to, especially without a ton of pre-reading, to figure out the structure of the sentences and how it should flow and where the emphasis should be.
And the way I broadcast is I don't like to write out what I say. I may write out some themes or maybe some talking points that I want to get to, but like, and even when I anchored on the news, like I wouldn't write out. A lot of times would be bullet points because it just sounds more conversational, right? This was written for me like paragraphs in Spanish, and like I don't have a great memory. I think my vocabulary was Cuban Spanish is a little different than Mexican Spanish. I think it was written more Mexican Spanish, which is fine. It's just some different words. I was a disaster. I have that tape somewhere at home. I'll bring it one day. Like it looked like a hostage
Did
situation.
you start panicking?
No, because I got to do like 20 takes.
Oh, okay.
But like you watch me, it looks like I'm a hostage, like just reading the script that the terrorists gave me. Like, Hola, estoy aquí in American Airlines Arena. You know, like, just very bad. But yeah.
I just didn't know if your tonality or your resonation of your voice changed whenever you.
Well, you heard me talk.
No, but like when you broadcast in Spanish, because you listen to a lot of these guys that do soccer games and stuff.
Oh, this is a different voice.
Yeah. There's no way they talk like that in their everyday. So I didn't know. And I follow enough of, because at one point I wanted to be, that's what I wanted to major in, was language. Like I wanted to learn as many languages as possible because I always thought it was so cool. But when I was looking into that stuff, it was pretty common that people would have different ways of presenting their voice in different languages.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, whatever comes out, comes out.
Bienvenidos.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Dalton and I have this little bit where we do like Spanish to each other. Like
Dalton doesn't speak Spanish.
He actually speaks pretty well. Like the words he does. Yeah, yeah, he does. Okay. I'm going to read this text message for you, and then you can respond, and then I can respond. This has nothing to do with you, by the way. It's from a 502 area code. He's speaking for the group. Apparently, he's speaking for all the listeners, all right? 502. Well, he says Maryland, but I don't care where he's from. We're sick of your music and the other crap y'all ramble about. You're a sports show. Get on with it.
It's Louisville, Kentucky. Might be a Northern Kentucky fan.
That's what I say to this guy. Oh, he's texted the show before. I don't care what you think.
Change the channel.
In fact, I don't want you personally listening ever again. You will, because we're the best show about Texas A&M sports. So you will still listen.
Just
but I don't
change
want
the channel.
You to.
What makes you think why do you feel like you need to text us to get us back? We're doing our job how we want to do it.
Yeah.
Do you text your cardiologist? Do you text your plumber?
I would. No, I don't.
Right.
No, you do the job, and if you like it, you go back.
But you have other options. You can call another plumber if you don't like it.
Call the other A&M show that's on right now. Oh, wait. Bottom line is,
hey, those are text messages that Fiedler should be dealing with, first of all.
She's too nice.
Yeah.
She's way too nice, but in a good way. So bottom line is, and a 3-hour sports show, if we do 7 to 8 minutes combined of non-sports, deal with it. Anywho.
You want to talk about lifting now? Because I would. I'd love to talk about it. On deload week.
Is it a deload week for you? I'm gonna. This is the one thing I'm gonna say for you. On Billy knows, my wife knows. I tried a max out the other day on bench, just trying, and it wasn't that big of an. No, I didn't hurt myself. It wasn't that big of an increment from the last time I did it, but I did it in the middle of a workout just because I felt good. Like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out today. Didn't hit it, and it's been in my head all week long. I'm feeling like, did I mess up on the process? Did I not eat right? Like, what is wrong? So it's been messing with me. Billy was there when it happened. I'm very disappointed.
I know that would mess with you because you're a total psycho with that stuff. So you're going to look into, it could have been anything as simple as
bad day,
just a bad day,
or maybe I lifted right before and I shouldn't have, or maybe I didn't rest long enough,
or you had 1 ounce too much rice in your.
1 ounce is quite a bit of rice. Now 1 gram. Now we're talking about a different situation.
Whatever. You had too much rice, so now I couldn't press as heavy as I wanted to.
Can we do some baseball here for a moment?
Sure.
I liked what I heard from Schloss, or like he wants to see Nathan Detmer bring it.
Well, and I thought that his example of Ryan Hawks against Louisville, when A&M played Louisville and their starter, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he was throwing. It wasn't just the stuff that he had going on Friday night. It was the attitude that he walked around the mound with. And I think I said it in the game thread. Like, he punched somebody. I think it was Targac. He may have punched Targac out. And, like, there was a little shimmy walking around the mound and some swagger. And, like, that's what – when Nathan Detmer's going good, he's got some of that in him. And I thought that he had it in opening night. I thought he was better with it against Portland. And then he didn't have it against Louisville. And I'm not talking about stuff here. I'm talking about the attitude with which you take the ball.
Yeah.
Nathan Detmer is going to pitch for a long, long time, right? But it's like he almost opens up a new version of himself when he goes out there with a little swagger. And let's try to think of the radio way to say it. A little bit of turd about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So pitching with a little bit of arrogance, and a lot more confidence in outwardly body language, that kind of thing. He's such an incredible kid and human being that sometimes I think the kids that are just as quality of human beings as you can be, sometimes they struggle with finding their edge and turning that switch on. Austin Bose doesn't. Like last year, Dylan Rock doesn't. And I thought that over the course of the weekend at Minute Maid, and then in the midweeks this week, like, you've seen Austin Bose be way more like, he's the edge guy. Like, he's becoming last year's Dylan Rock. Not in terms of production. We all know Austin Bose can really hit. But in terms of, like, the way the team's going to play.
Yep.
Follow me. I'm going to do it this way, and everybody's going to do it this way behind me. So I thought, maybe Nathan Detmer seeing Bose take a bigger stance and bigger movement in that direction, maybe that brings out a little bit more fire in him.
Last thing, Bronny. To me, it feels like SEC play showed up fast. I mean, I know it's the same kind of timing, but like it felt like we just started, and now we're a week away from LSU.
Well, because you've had to focus on the day-to-day more so than you thought you would in the early season because of the struggles, and you've had to kind of dive into what's going on within the team instead of, hey, they're cruising right along and we can see SEC play. We're looking toward it every day.
Yeah.
We've had to dive into other things, and so I think that's caused maybe the calendar to speed up on you a little bit. But Coach Schlossnagle ain't lying. Like a week from today, LSU will probably be pulling into town with a Friday night guy that's going to be – first of all, they're going to pull into town with a center fielder that's going to be the first overall pick of the draft, and they may be pitching a guy on Friday night that may be the second overall pick in the draft. Like that's what kind of talent's walking in here out of Baton Rouge. So whether you're ready for it or not, it's coming. And I don't think this team's in a spot right now where they can overlook Northern Kentucky, nor do I think they will, because I think these early season waves here have kind of helped them understand like the game has to be played a certain way every day regardless of who's in the other dugout. And look, one thing we haven't talked much about, and this will be the last point I make today, we knew replacing Troy Claunch and Dylan Rock was going to be tough, okay? But now with Trevor Warner out and Brett Minnick out, becomes not only that, look at the difference in total career at-bats when you look at Brett Minnick, Trevor Warner, Troy Claunch, Dylan Rock, and Cole Kaler, who are the 5 guys from last year's team positionally who you've had to replace this year. Look at the difference in career at-bats between those 5 guys and who's replacing them, okay? Tab Tracy in center field. He came in with like 20 college at-bats.
Right.
Jace Lavalette, how many college at-bats?
0.
Caden Kent, how many college at-bats?
0.
Max Coffer, how many college at-bats?
0.
Hank Bard, J.D. Gregson, how many collegiate at-bats, like Division I at-bats?
0.
0.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So in Hunter Haas, he's been the team's best player, but he was injured most of last year. So even his at-bats are
brand new.
Right. So it may take more time than we thought. They've replaced them with incredibly talented kids and incredibly talented players. But I do think maybe the veterans early on felt the brunt of that. Like, we have to do it. We have to do it. All these other guys have never done it before. We have to do it. Now that's kind of subsided. I think some of the tension has gone out of their neck and shoulders because they were uptight in the batter's box. I think it's starting to play itself out as it does in baseball. And also, every time that Jace Lavalette and Caden Kent step in the batter's box, it's good for the future of this team, and it's good for the future of this program.
Sand in an hourglass, buddy. It starts adding up. Thank you, Bronny. Appreciate you. Right now we're talking Heritage Films. Was going back and forth with Chance McClain yesterday. He's teaming up with Raheel for some cool stuff, and they just do awesome work there at Heritage Films.
I need to meet Raheel because he wears you out, and I think it's hilarious.
He doesn't wear me out.
Oh, yeah.
He wears Kennedy out. He doesn't wear me out.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought I saw maybe a comment from him on your yellow shirt.
Oh, he didn't like it. Yeah. But did anybody?
No.
Nobody liked it.
Except you.
I don't know if I liked it. It was just a shirt. I didn't put a lot of thought into it.
You're going to wear it again now because of the response it got. You need to wear it when Billy's on. That would be the best radio.
It would. Do you think if they did my Heritage Films like on me, do you think that's going to be a chapter in the story?
The yellow shirt?
Yeah, the yellow shirt.
Yellow shirt, David?
Yeah, at that point in his career, he realized he's gotten old and he has no fashion. And
I have no problem with the color of the shirt. The neck is absurd on that thing.
It is pretty big.
It's like it fit around my head.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Act as if you're The Rock. So you wear a shirt that The Rock would barely put on. Act as if. Anywho, I don't know why I said anywho. Heritage Films. That's Chance McClain's company. They do documentary films about people. Even the texter that doesn't like the music on the show because he's very narrow-minded and only listens to one song, we could do a story about him. He likes to listen to Rick Ashley on repeat. That's fine. We can put that in the story. It's all good. When Chance does your story, it's something that you can share with your family for generation after generation. You want to have it. It is yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341.
We are going. Are you ready?
It's only 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where we respect all and fear none.
It's time. Oh, here we go!
Let's go!
Are you suffering from hair loss, bald spots, receding hairlines? There's a new solution for men and women that uses regenerative medicine to stimulate hair follicles and give you thicker, fuller hair with no surgery. This remarkable treatment is now available here from the regenerative specialists at QC Kinetics. That's right, the same protocols that help relieve joint pain can be used to give new life to dormant hair follicles. QC Kinetics medical professionals can use growth factors from your own body, concentrated and applied to your scalp, restoring hair follicles, preventing further loss, and increasing hair growth. Imagine thicker, fuller hair with no expensive surgery and no downtime. So if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments, regenerative medicine that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. Get your hair growing naturally again. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 979-452-6000. That's 979-452-6000. 979-452-6000.
First Financial Bank thanks the Brazos Valley for our continued success and growth. Come and celebrate the opening of our newest location at 2445 Harvey Mitchell Parkway in College Station. We're offering a special cash promotion for opening either a WOW checking account or a new savings account. Visit with our local banker at any of our locations for details. We have everything you need to manage your finances through our mobile app, online banking, and growing locations. Don't wait. Visit First Financial Bank today and experience how we put you first. Terms and conditions may apply. Approval required for all new accounts. First Financial Bank. Member FDIC.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
It's that time again for America's simplest tournament contest, Sports Talk Madness. Just log on to ChipHoward.com. Sign up, pick your top 10 tourney teams. That's it. No filling out brackets, no picking games, just your top 10 teams. Sports Talk Madness brought to you by Chad Jones Law and Zwerneman Flooring. Go to ChipHoward.com beginning Monday morning, March 13th through Thursday morning, March 16th. Good luck from your Sports Talk pal at the Zone.
Welcome in. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate all the text messages on the A&B text line. We'll try to get to some of those here in a moment. Let's go straight to the hotline. We're joined by Aaron Torres of Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. AT, what's up, man?
David Nuño, what's going on, man? How you doing? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. So, I was preparing. By the way, I'm looking forward to seeing you here in a few weeks, but I was preparing for our interview today, and everything was about different coaches, right? Like this coach is retiring or forced retired. This coach gets kicked out, and then it looks like we got some other news. It looks like Bill Self is in the hospital. I just saw the note that he's going to miss the quarterfinal due to an illness. I think there's some reports out there of what that illness is, but just another coaching story.
A lot going on. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, big news yesterday with Jim Boeheim. And then, I just saw this Bill Self thing as well. I have no real intel on it. You see different things on the internet. You don't know what to believe. The school says he's fine. The school says he's resting. But the school also says he's in hospital care. So it sounds pretty serious. And, again, without really having any information beyond just what is out there from the school, I just hope that he makes a speedy recovery. I have no idea if he'll be coaching this weekend at all or the NCAA tournament. But like I said, if you believe the school press release, it looks like he was hospitalized. So hope everything's okay.
Yeah, talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Radio. Aaron, let's start things off with not start things off. Let's move on to the Jim Boeheim situation. I think we saw it coming. He even alluded to it, I think, last week. But you can tell he did not want to go. He wanted to stay longer.
Yeah, it's wild. I did some kind of like a reaction video in real time, and I called it a retirement. And obviously, as I kind of rewatched the video from whatever it was, yesterday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, and then also based off of, by the way, I just got out of the gym, so if I'm like huffing and puffing here, I was actually just working out, so I don't mean to embarrass myself here. But back to Jim Boeheim, what I was going to say was, like, I see the video, I see the announcement, I say, he's retired after 47 years, and it's like, you rewatch everything, it's like, it's pretty clear this is not a man that wanted to go. And so, one, it's really weird, right? Like, legends, they don't necessarily always have graceful exits, but usually, like, everybody kind of agrees it's time, right? Like, Tom Brady left on his own accord. Peyton Manning left on his own accord. Coach K, Roy Williams left on their own accord. It was clear that this guy wanted to keep going, and the school wouldn't let him. And so, in a lot of ways, I give credit to the school because, like, to essentially fire a guy after 47 years, basically the only coach that the school has really ever known, at least anybody that's been following this sport for like the last 40, 50 years, it's wild. I can't believe they had the guts to actually do it, but it was clear that he wasn't going to step away. I could tell you that I think a lot of people, he had two sons on the team last year that both left, and I think everybody kind of thought, okay, once his sons leave, he's going to kind of gracefully exit. That did not happen, and it was clear that he was not planning on leaving after this season. So once that happened, I think he kind of backed the school into a corner. Then he definitely backed the school into a corner yesterday. I kind of give them credit for making the move, but it is going to be weird not seeing him on the sidelines going forward.
AT, did you see the whole Jamie Dixon thing that's happened over the last 24 hours?
No, what happened?
So Hop on our board posted this. I guess it's from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, but apparently he posted on social media a note that one of his players, post player, was going to enter the transfer portal, that being Eddie Lampkin, and he wished them the best, yada, yada, yada. Well, then his mom apparently saw the post and responded saying that Dixon never spoke to the family. And apparently, here's the statement. I'm just going to read it out loud. Coach Dixon, we didn't talk yesterday. No one has told you from our end that Eddie was entering the transfer portal. We are discussing your behavior towards him. I do not appreciate the way you and everyone at TCU is making it about the transfer portal and not about the real reason he is not here with the team that he loves. If you don't tell the truth of how you have mistreated, disrespected, and said racial remarks towards him, we will. Please do not disrespect my son's name because all we have been is patient with you. And it goes on to say about Christian values and whatnot. That caught me off guard, my friend.
Well, that definitely catches me off guard as well. What I would say is obviously, look, with the Mark Adams stuff at Tech, listen, there's and this is going to sound really bad, there's a way that I think older coaches think that they could talk to players. And I don't necessarily think that the older coaches think that it's racially charged. But, and by the way, this is all speculation, but, if you believe Mark Adams' version of events, he's quoting the Bible. Well, a young African-American basketball or football or baseball player or whatever is probably not going to perceive it the same way. And so I don't know anything about this TCU story. I didn't see it at all. All I saw was that, I saw a report that Eddie Lampkin had stepped away for kind of some quote-unquote mental health reasons. It's interesting. He's got a very interesting backstory. He came in very overweight, and the school took a chance on him and basically redshirted him his freshman year, and he lost something in the neighborhood of like 70 pounds with 7-0. And so, you say, obviously the statement says something racially charged, but, I could see, so let me put it this way. I have no doubt there's been some tough coaching on Eddie Lampkin because, they basically had to literally whip his butt into shape. And so I don't know if something was said that crossed the line, but it does feel like, David, there have been, over the course of not just this year, but the last 3, 4, 5 years, older coaches used to talking a certain way, acting a certain way, and you just can't do that in 2023. You probably never should have been able to do it, but you certainly can't now. And so I don't know if this is sort of similar to the Mark Adams thing. Without knowing much about it, it just doesn't sound like a good deal. And it's another one of those, man. It's I don't know. You just got to be. You can't. If he said, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate at this point because I don't know what he said.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to ask you about A&M. So depending on who you read or who you believe bracketology-wise, and all these things are educated guesses, but what do you think a best case seed scenario is for A&M, and what is the worst case seed scenario based on what is left here in the SEC tournament?
I mean, I'll flip it over to you. I've told you many times, David, that's one thing I just don't really wade too much into because I just don't know. Like, I'll be honest, like, I don't follow it, to be honest. Like, I just kind of give me a bracket when I see a bracket, I'll make picks. What I'll say is a couple things is, one, I just like A&M going into this week in Nashville. And I don't know what it means. Obviously I would hope that if they run the table, they would move up a seed line or two. Unfortunately, history is kind of reflected to us, David, and I know A&M fans know this, and Tennessee fans do as well, that unfortunately sometimes, the SEC, it's been perceived that what you do in Nashville really doesn't matter in terms of making the tournament, seeding, all of that good stuff. But in terms of A&M itself, I just like the way they're playing basketball. I've liked them for probably a month and a half now, independent of beating Alabama last weekend. And you look at the bracket and the draw for them, you're going to get probably an Auburn team that you've beaten twice. I know there's this narrative that it's hard to beat the same team 3 times. I've talked to coaches. The numbers don't really back that up. That's kind of an old wives' tale. If you get Arkansas, that's a team that you just beat a few weeks ago. And then who knows what Kentucky's going to be. They have some injury issues. And then on the other side of the bracket, Alabama, who knows what they'll be. And then, of course, Tennessee has injury issues as well. So, I don't know if you've had other bracketologists on. I'm not the person to ask about seed lines and all that. I just know that I think this team is playing as well as anyone going into Nashville. And then on top of that, I think they have the fewest distractions, fewest injuries, fewest off-the-court stuff. And this is very much like this is why you hire a Buzz Williams. Keep it in-house, get the right people in, do your job, that kind of stuff. There's just never a lot of outside noise with his teams. And I think you see that going into Nashville. And I think it's reason for excitement, not only for this weekend, but for what could to come over the next couple weekends in the NCAA tournament.
Aaron, let's do one last one here. I just want to read this to you. So Nick Saban was quoted yesterday saying, I guess he was defending Bryce Young, and there's nothing wrong with what he says, but some people are taking it as a shot to Anthony Richardson. We've all seen the 6'4", 225 guy that can throw like a bazooka, but he can't make the choices and the decisions, can't distribute the ball, can't throw it accurately. So what's better bet? I'm going with history, production, performance, and Bryce Young's done it as well as anybody. Sounds like a shot at Anthony Richardson, but in reality, he's telling the truth.
He's telling the truth. It is funny. I was on air the day that Anthony Richardson had all his workouts at the Combine, and I really will say, I can see why teams are being lulled into him when you see him in sneakers and workout clothes. I mean, the guy is a freak. I mean, he obviously had, historic numbers at the Combine, but you turn on that film, man, 53% completion percentage. And listen, everybody think, so what I would say really quick about Anthony Richardson is Josh Allen is the exception to the rule, the guy that was never very accurate in college and then all of a sudden gets to the NFL and figures it out. There's 500 other examples that if you're completing 54% of your passes in college, you're not going to be a 70% completion guy in the NFL. And so I am actually with Nick Saban on this. And I think part of it, too, is I don't think he was purposely taking a shot at Anthony Richardson as much as saying, dude, I get that he's an inch too. First of all, let me say this, David, really quick, and cut me off if we got to get to break.
We got 22 seconds.
If Bryce Young wasn't capable of playing the position, Nick Saban wouldn't have recruited him. Go number one. He's the guy. I don't know if he'll go number one because the Bears have to pick, but if he wasn't good enough to do what is needed to be done at the highest level, Nick Saban wouldn't have recruited him. Done. Conversation over.
AT, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Man, had 6 seconds to spare. I could have gotten more in. Thanks, David. We'll talk soon.
Later, bro. Aaron Torres Online. Appreciate his time. That is Around College Athletics, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community, featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more. MillikenReserve.com. All right, we'll be back with a short segment, then hour number 3.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone, brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. Go see them at their new location on Highway 6 in Rock Prairie by Scott and White. Always fresh, never frozen. Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. United Way of the Brazos Valley is collecting children's books this month to support the early literacy program. There are multiple drop-off locations throughout the community. Learn more at uwbv.org. The annual Easter celebration at the Bush Library is Saturday, April 1st from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Free activities and games for children 9 and under. Save the date for the 8th annual Starlight Affair, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Texas. Saturday, April 1st at Traditions Club at 6 p.m. Find them online to purchase sponsorships or tickets. Our Savior's Lutheran Church presents the 3rd annual drive-through Living Passion of Christ. Friday, April 7th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This is a free, family-friendly event. Community Calendar is brought to you by Paisano's Italian Pizzeria. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
MG Studio Beauty and Barber, Mr. G's Pizzeria, Rock's Discount Vitamins and more, and Power Sports. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Your go-to on the pancake, plain, strawberry, banana.
I'm more of a regular. I'm more of a regular short stack. I might flirt with like a banana pancake, strawberry pancakes every once in a while.
I think that might be too sweet. Blueberry pancakes is probably my.
You're a blueberry guy?
Yeah, I'm a blueberry guy because the bananas are always too sweet for some reason. And then strawberries fine, but the blueberries when they're in the cake, not just on top, fire. Pancakes is fire, man.
I got a pancake. So give me a short stack alone. I don't need anything else.
And I'm a ham steak guy opposed to bacon because the bacon at IHOP is like
little undercooked something.
Paper thin. It's just it's gonna fall apart. Yeah. No, I'll need the ham steak nice off.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in. 979-693-1150 is the A&B text line. Let's go to the News and Social Center. We got a question coming up that I think Nick needs to be a part of it as well. So let's go there to Emily Fiedler.
Yes, so we have one from Cameron, and he says, in reference to the music conversation earlier, similar to buy, sell, lease, which musical artist do y'all listen to that you would compare with cheap beer, a craft cocktail, and fine wine?
Nick, you are the country music connoisseur here. I'm going to let you take this.
Goodness. Cheap beer. Say it again, Emily. Cheap beer, fine wine, and a crafted cocktail?
Yes.
Is that? Oh, my goodness.
A Mickey's 40 ounce.
Cheap beer. Maybe like Kid Rock? Would that be fair?
Do you listen to him? I guess it's
I don't really, but that's the first name that comes to mind.
Cheap beer.
So cheap beer, Kid Rock.
Kid Rock, okay.
Fine wine. Or no, sorry. Crafted cocktail is next.
Whiskey?
No, I mean, I would almost put Whiskey Myers in the cheap beer level as well.
That was rude.
No, that's not an insult.
It's an insult.
Kid Rock is good. Whiskey Myers is good. Okay, crafted cocktail, I'll go like Turnpike Troubadours.
I like them.
Okay, and then fine wine, George Strait, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Like, I would do mine.
Do yours rap version.
Yeah, but, like, my rap audience, they're not as loud as my anti-rap audience, but I know they're listening. So, like, cheap beer. again, I haven't listened to like real rap in 15 years because I'm old. So back in the day, cheap beer, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. All right?
I would agree with that. I don't know much about rap, but that seems fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, when it's on, you bob your head, you're like, yeah, and you're embarrassed you're singing the words, but it's a terrible song. But it's a great song at the same time. A craft cocktail. What is considered a craft cocktail? Give me an example, like a
old-fashioned or something like that.
Okay. All right, a craft cocktail. Let's go with, like something that's good but not not great. Let's go with, they're legends, but Eric B. and Rakim. I know that's not before your time. And then fine wine.
Say it.
I'm not going to say Kanye. I'm not, even though I may be thinking it. I'm going to say Tupac.
That's what I thought you were going to say, or Biggie on Biggie's
Biggie.
death anniversary.
I feel like I'm disrespecting the greatest lyricist we've seen in the genre. So Biggie or Pac. All right, I'm making it easy.
Cool. That's a good question, though. I'd have to think about that more.
If we did it for sports, that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Cheap beer, LeBron. And I'm kidding, but I'm not. It's TexAgs Radio. When we come back, basketball talk with Tap, with Pound and the Rock. We'll get to more of your text messages. I didn't like the way I said that. Messages. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you here in a bit.
It's that time of the year. The madness is about to begin. It is March, and you would like to win $1,000. I call it Zone Madness, brought to you by Aggieland Green and in part by Hungry Howie's and the Smokin' Aces Barbecue Competition Team. You can register now at zone1150.com. Selection Sundays just ahead. Make your picks, the entire field, next week, and we have a grand prize of $1,000.
Join me to rally to read 100 books.
Reading is Fundamental invites you to visit rallytoread.org today to learn about our reading campaign. Join the pledge to read 100 books. Hear your child's favorite authors read their books, and find activities to keep young readers motivated. Teachers can also enter the Rally to Read sweepstakes for a chance to win 100 books for their own school, subject to rules. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Rally to read!
Get connected and be in the know with the Zone. Follow us on Twitter at Zone1150. Like us on Facebook, Zone1150. Subscribe to our daily newsletter at thezone1150.com.